Something did go wrong.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
We did pull a fuse.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, well, it says we're live now.
We are live. All right, welcome to the podcast tonight, folks. We got a great guest here tonight, owner of Music City Indian Motorcycles in Nashville, Tennessee. And I can't wait to go show up and hang out with this guy. So far, he's been a character, if you know what I mean. Oh,
Lord.
all right, you know what to do, folks. Hit that like button just once, because if you hit it twice, it disappears. All right, we got some people in the chat already. Will and Blaze, welcome to the podcast. Donna, welcome to the podcast. Tony, welcome to the podcast. Tim Arnold, welcome to the podcast. I'm losing my voice. I can't talk anymore. You guys,
One could only hope.
I wish.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
I know it says we're live, but are you sure they can hear us now?
Oh, I'm sure. Marcel, welcome to the podcast. We ain't talking about Max. Wheels Divided, welcome to the podcast. Jeffrey Maxwell's in the house. KD Miller in the house.
What?
It's the hat,
37
Max.
seconds. Our Indian Adventures
You
in
know,
the house.
it's Fat Tuesday. I can't help it you guys aren't celebrating.
Hey, we did announce that we are definitely going to Sturgis. Jason, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah,
Hopefully we'll see some people there. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
17 seconds.
Yeah, we're working on some stuff for while we're out there too.
Oh, yeah, no. I got to find my screens here. All right, folks, here is our latest members. And if you haven't became a member yet, I don't know what you guys are waiting for. Gosh, come on. Anyway, I'm just kidding. I'm having some fun. I had too much caffeine tonight. I'm going to be quiet probably in about 5 minutes and probably falling asleep. But anyway, I don't think so. This is going to be a great podcast. And we got the friends that's going to ask all the questions. We got Max and Les here tonight. But here's our members. Connie, you want to go over them? Go ahead.
Well, sure. William Blaze, Tony Peoria, IOWA, which is short for Donna, Riding Fish, Wheels Divided, Bob Cole, Gator Mike, Mixed Boy 420, Our Indian Adventures, Tim Arnold, Wind Therapy Addict, Kevin Tatum, Joshua Pfeiffer, AZ Pilot, and our new one, Doug Hampton.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much.
So Connie, how does IOWA translate to Donna?
Well, I don't really know yet, but see, she's from Iowa, so it's Indian something, something, something. I just have to figure it out.
Anyway, Mark McDay is in the house. Welcome to the podcast.
Yay!
Riding Fish is in the house. All right, awesome. So let's go to the next screen. We do have one confirmed, pretty much confirmed. You know, we'll skip over that. We'll go over the calendar. Everybody knows what we got February 24th. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. And then we'll go to the calendar here at the very end of the show. So make sure you're watching. I guess I can use that as a kind of a prop thing here. Anyway, welcome to the podcast, Kameron. Is that correct, Kameron?
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right. And he is the owner of one of the most well-known motorcycle, actually Indian dealers in the country. And we have some friends that are Indian dealers in this that's been on the podcast, but this is going to be a wild one. We've been talking for at least a half hour, and this guy is freaking going to be. It's going to be like who was the lady that was from Australia? Remember?
Creative Cruiser.
This might top that one.
I hope so.
It's going to be fun.
Hey, Chris, I wanted to ask you, too. I've got people asking about how they can view that episode because I can't find it and pull it up on YouTube.
Oh, really? Okay, well, I'll fix that out.
I'll make a note of that, and I'll bring it up. Yeah.
All right, so a couple things. Tim Arnold, I don't know if I mentioned your name. Welcome to the podcast. Anyway, we got a couple things. I want to make sure we get that clear first. If you're watching on a TV or a widescreen phone, and if you're seeing us in a small part of the screen, that means you're watching the mobile version of the podcast. Go to YouTube, click on the widescreen one, and you're good to go. Mike, welcome to the podcast. All right, so let's get to it. I just wanted to make sure, because we get a lot of questions in the middle of the podcast about why is it only half the screen? It's because that's the mobile version. I just want to make sure.
And also, Jeff said you should explain how to become a member.
Oh, okay.
of
So
Throttle Iron.
if you're on Facebook, you can't become a member. You got to be on YouTube, and then right underneath of it is the membership. It says join now, and that's how you become a member, which is pretty cool. All right, there's 3 different things, and also I'll be sending out a couple emails to everybody that is a member, and you guys will get special discounts on merch and all kinds of other stuff. All right. Also, one last thing before I go crazy. I know this is his interview and his show tonight. We do have the $1,400 gift giveaway that we're going to be giving away next Tuesday night. So make sure you're sharing that with everybody. When we have Mike here on the podcast, we also are going to give away the $1,400 Aftermarket special giveaway. And Bob
Chris?
Cole gave me the levers today. What's that?
One thing you might want to mention, tonight is the last night to submit questions for the Mike Kennedy podcast. So
I went to the wrong screen. Yeah. There we go.
Make sure you go to throttleandiron.com, and under the podcast tab, there is a selection there for Ask Mike Kennedy a Question. There's a simple form, fill it out. Make sure you've got your questions in by tonight. We're going to summarize all those and make sure he has them.
All right. We are good to go. All right. You ready?
Disclaimer.
Oh, disclaimer.
I just want to go back to where we started. When you said something about world famous Indian dealership. So let's go back to that, not infamous.
It's awesome. All right. So everybody does have a drink tonight. So we do have to do the disclaimer. And here it is right now. Go ahead, Max. Enjoy.
Okay. Number 1, before we get started, it's Fat Tuesday. That's why I have my Bell's hat on. I've got my beads going, and I got a little drinky poo here. So, at Throttle and Iron, we believe the balls of throttles don't mix. We promote responsible drinking with spirits, as it's the only way I can get through this show. Do not condone drinking and riding. While we may enjoy drinking during the podcast, or 3 or 4, we do so safely at home with no riding taking place afterwards. Please enjoy responsibly, follow your local laws, and never drink and ride. Ride safe, live free. Because of the comments last week, I brought back an old favorite. Starlight is making a reappearance in the house. So tonight we are having just regular Carl T. Huber's signature Indiana Straight bourbon whiskey, 92 proof, 4 years of age, and it's a very nice, mellow drink. Available hopefully at your local store. Just remember, folks, all the comments and opinions about spirits on this program are mine and mine alone. Have a good day.
Oh,
and we still suspect that Max is a paid ambassador to Starlight.
No, I do. I wish I was.
Definitely is. And this guy's definitely is. Will Divided, welcome to the podcast.
Man.
All right, here, BFP Garage, welcome to the podcast.
In the house.
All right, so we're gonna stop with all the announcements of all the people joining the podcast. We're gonna get started here. So, Kameron, how did you? What's the first story? Okay, let me see if I can get that bike here. But go ahead, start us. How you got started with Indian
motorcycle. So in a previous life, I used to work with a company called Eagle Rider. We rented a whole bunch of Harley Davidsons all over the U.S. and actually globally for that matter. And when I'm not going to go in before that, I used to be a franchise owner for years, but I was their acquisition and disposition. So for short terms, I bought and sold a lot of motorcycles from my house in Dana Point, California for them. And I think it was circa 2012 or 13, Harley Davidson cut us off and they said, no, we're not going to sell you new motorcycles. And what a perfect timing for Polaris to bring Indian motorcycles to the market, because we needed a bunch of American V twins to fulfill our rental fleet. And me and a colleague at Eagle Rider acquired 400 Indian motorcycles from Polaris at the time, of course, and brought them into our rental fleets. And, they rode well. They kind of were obviously the opposite of Harley, but at the same time, the same, meaning, when the Europeans were coming over renting full time in the States, they just wanted to ride American V twins. So Indian was just as cool as Harley. And we obviously didn't have a footprint yet, but our consumers kind of said it all, and they were super pumped on the brand. And we rented the hell out of them. They didn't break down. They were easy to maintain. A lot of universal parts back in circa 2013. When I say 13, there were 14 model year that year because we used to offer mid-year releases back then when they first came out. And one thing led to another, and the bikes were great. I was kind of wrapping up my time with Eagle Rider at the time, and I got a good buddy here in Nashville that invited me out for the Harley Davidson dealer meeting, and we got to chatting, and we opened up Music City, Indian, and Indian Motorcycle, Marietta, Georgia, and his brother opened up Panama City Beach, all within about 90 days of each other in early 2015. So my introduction to Indian was simply because Harley Davidson forced my hand to buy their competitor's product. And I'm by no means bashing Harley Davidson. It's just the facts. The bikes were great. They were on an uphill trajectory, and we were really excited about the way the bikes handled, operated, all that good stuff, and our ability to acquire them as well.
Awesome.
So, yeah, no, it was good. And I mean, obviously we can go down a laundry list, but having Music City in Nashville didn't suck. I mean, what an iconic place and great place to open up an Indian dealership. Cool town. I'd never been here before. My wife and I moved here 90 days after we decided that we were going to open up this shop with my business partner at the time. And it's been really good to us, and we've really enjoyed Tennessee and Nashville as a whole.
So have you, I guess on our way back from Sturgis, we're going to be going to Pikes Peak, and then we're going to go to Nashville. Are you going to Sturgis this year?
I have a home in Spearfish, South Dakota, so this will be my 19th year in Sturgis. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I guess we can cancel our reservations.
We'll just crash there.
So my wife is upstairs right now, and I'm sure she's going, we're still within 3 minutes, right? We're still within 3 minutes.
We're good now. You can cuss as much as you want.
No. So year round, man, anybody's welcome at the house, obviously. But during rally, we shut her down, man. We just it's our downtime, it's our time away, and we obviously like to participate in the industry while we're there, but within reason. After 25 years in the business, we really enjoy going up there and just riding the Black Hills and having a good time and dabbing in and out of all the events instead of trying to participate in all of them. So, but we're looking forward to seeing you guys up there. That'll be fun.
Yeah, we're going to be spending, I think, till Thursday. And then Chris Marty's going to be hanging out with us. It's going to be fun. I think we got, I can't really say how much room we got, but we got some room. But it's going to be fun. But we're going to do an iron butt straight there from Lafayette, Indiana, straight to what is it called? Our destination over there. And we're going to do, I think it's 1,044 miles. It's going to be fun.
Perfect.
I've never done an iron butt, but
Rapid City.
Yeah, Rapid City. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a great time. So you said you've been there 19 years?
Yeah, it's from Tennessee. Well, my first time, my buddy who owns Cycle Visions out of San Diego, California, kind of introduced me to it, and we started riding back in 07 or 08. I forget. I'm old. And so we jumped on the bikes, and I had an opportunity to ride with a great group of guys, and we took 4 or 5 days, went through, I think we did Vegas the first night, which, by the way, not a good idea. Getting up the next morning at 100 degrees and wanting to vomit because agave juice is pouring out of your system is normally not the best way. But, we got to ride through some of the most epic country. I mean, Bryce and Zion in southern Colorado. And I was hooked, needless to say, I was hooked after that. And so, yeah, we've been going every year since. And my wife and I had an opportunity to buy a place in 2017, and we took advantage of that. And it's made it a little bit easier. I mean, you guys know what it costs to go to Sturgis and get a hotel for a week. And, the good news of South Dakota is there's only about 800,000 people in the entire state. So, housing is pretty affordable still for the average guy. So it kind of made sense just to acquire versus keep paying them rent for a hotel room.
Well, I'll tell you a little bit of a story here. And then, Max, did you got any questions or less? But anyway, a couple of nights ago, we just started looking. And then we found this place, and man, it was a nice price. It was really good. I should put it up here and just fly. Anyway,
don't do that.
I know. I think I should. But anyway, they come back and say, "I'm sorry, you're denied. Please go to Vervo and rent there." So I'll go to Vervo, and it's like $1,000. I mean, $1,500 more. It was $1,500 more. And I said, "Well, can you help us with the the price. And they said, well, it's Sturgis that week, and Vervo cannot, lower the prices, raise the prices up because it's already been listed. So we're not going to deal with Vervo right now. We're only doing Airbnb. And I said, well, can you meet us at least halfway? He's never answered us back. So here's the property, folks, right here. I'm going to get it over here, drag it in. Just kidding. I'm not going to do that. But
Don't do that.
But we went ahead and rented another one. I think we got a great place. It's actually bigger than the one we were going to rent. Yeah. But I've never been there before, so I think it's going to be.
You've never been to Sturgis?
No. Mm-mm.
Oh man, you guys are in for it. It'll be fun. I love a good Virgin Sturgis story. You guys are going to come back with so much content. That'll be ridiculous.
Chris will. Yeah, Chris
will.
Chris
will.
I've actually been there, so I'm assuming I'll be the tour guide. But we actually had a question: is how hard is it to find a place for Sturgis? Depends on what you want to spend. There's plenty of places out there right now for $4,000 and $5,000 for the week. If you're on an economy budget like Chris and I are on food stamps and welfare, we're trying to get the budget deals, and there's just not many of those left out there. So
Les is looking for a sugar mama for that EBT recredit or what?
Hey, dollar's a dollar.
Those relatively inexpensive places usually tend to go a year in advance. I've been there twice, 08 and 11, but I haven't been back since. I figure I got one more trip in me, but I'm not going to make it with these guys. So
Ginger's got a question here. She says, have you sold any Indians to country singers?
Yeah, of course. We've been very fortunate. I don't know that I want to name drop.
Yeah, you don't have to.
No, you don't.
No, I mean, that's not really our cup of tea here in Tennessee. I think. Thank you for the question. Obviously, we're very excited to have the opportunity to meet and or ride with a bunch of really famous country artists, and but with that, we'll say yes. We have had that opportunity, and yes, country artists love Indian motorcycles as well, and I mean, we try not to expose that sort of thing at our dealership. We're by no means want to pick on the question, but we like to have a little more class than that, and just kind of keep things kind of on the DL when it comes to that. But with that, you guys have seen through Indian socials, so I can bring up one name. Buddy of mine, Kip Moore, met him 11 years ago, and he's done some stuff. He wrote Baja with Taylor and some of the folks from Indian Motorcycle, and him and I have ripped here in Tennessee. Hell, the guy works out at my gym, which is rad. And we've been very blessed to meet a lot of very cool people and artists here in Tennessee. So yes, to answer your question, am I going to name drop any more than that? Probably not.
So, Kameron, I've heard about Music City Indian. What sets your dealership apart from others? And this is from Wheels Divided.
My staff.
Mm-hmm. We were talking
I get to sit and I get to do this podcast, which is pretty cool. I think a lot of them would probably say, "Fuck that! I don't want to be on TV, or I don't want to be in front of the camera," because they're not as comfortable, or maybe they're just not as versed. But my staff is what created Music City Indian. When we opened, we had it's an amazing thing when you open a store. There's no owner's manual, right? In fact, the very first negative review I got, and I'm not going to mention his name, but was most certainly reversed, and now he does my payroll for me. But when you open up your doors, we call them the remote control wallet. And if KB, if you're watching, I love you, brother. But I mean, we didn't know, right? Like, a guy came in, he's like, "Oh, I need a nut for my windshield," and we had $200,000 worth of parts that Polaris Indian shipped us, and we had no idea what any of it was, and we're kind of scattering around. We got beautiful lifts that had never been scratched and brand new air compressors, and the dealership was immaculate. And not that it's not today, but it's got a little more class to it now, I would say, maybe more patina. But I mean, the guys have been with me. I mean, my two, Blaine and Joey, have been with me for almost 11 years. I got Eli and Carl, who are in the back, that are epic. They've been with me for 4 or 5 years. Jeff, who, if anybody's ever called and needed a PG&A or a part, he's our rock star at the parts counter, and he does a bit more than that. And Mark, who's a new addition within 4 or 5 years, a sales guy. But my crew. If you go on, I'm a little harsh with some of our critical Google reviews, I tend to fight back a little bit where most people wouldn't. But for the most part, nobody really mentions my name when they come into our dealership. They come in and they're going to give us a review or comment about my dealership. They're talking about my staff, and they're really the reason why Music City Indian is what it is today.
Yep.
Oh, very cool.
That's freaking
The
awesome.
thing is,
Yeah, good.
yeah, it sounds like because I've seen videos of your techs doing different things to different bikes. Your dealership is one of the few that does actual customization for people's bikes.
Mhm.
I mean, you're in the big bore kits and stereos, of course, Davison audio and everything else. It's just amazing what you've done to expand that dealership. Talk about some of that too. What made you go in that direction where most dealerships just do bolt-ons?
Well, so I'm not a big fan of name dropping, but I belong to a pretty cool group of guys. We build custom motorcycles. We're passionate about custom motorcycles. We ride our custom motorcycles. Hell, most of us ride them, 13, 14, 1,500 miles to Sturgis every year. And, with that, I think coming from the Harley world, circa 2013, maybe, I don't know, 13, 12, 11, somewhere in that era, we're all building Harley Davidsons. And when this opportunity popped up to become an Indian dealer, it was really easy to just take everything that we known from the other American V-twin into the Indian world. Obviously, initially, it was very difficult. There wasn't a lot of aftermarket parts and accessories available to the brand. But especially with the cast frame, right? You can't cut and rake a frame that's cast aluminum. That was,
Sure.
if you ever see my YouTube, and I'm not trying to steal from your guys' channel, but if you ever see Music City Indians YouTube video that Ben from Get Bent Moto does a lot for us on the Shit Chief, which happens to be kind of over my shoulder, whichever way here. It's a tubular steel frame, right? And now, albeit we didn't cut the neck and rake that one or do anything crazy, but it's a steel frame. That means you can do those things, right? So forever, it was a lot of bolt-on. It was a lot of, cam work, air cleaners, exhaust, Indians, stage 1, stage 2 download, right? But we found a niche pretty quick. Buddy of ours hit us up, and I think FTD Customs, just north of us in town, made a set of custom wheels for back in 2016 for a Chieftain. And people are like, oh, watch my mouth, poop.
We're past the 3-minute mark. Go ahead.
Yeah, I know.
We're past the 3 minutes. It's okay.
People are like, oh shit, right? And they saw some cool stuff. And then, God, I got to go back here in my Rolodex. So my brother Justin, you guys seen him in some videos. Him and Roland Sands and Cameron Brewer, who's got a race team now for Bagger Racing, and Aaron, and God, I go down a laundry list. Roland's built 100 bikes for my bro over the years, and the first Chieftain might have been circa 15 or 16, and they put like a chopped carbon front end, inverted front end with Olin suspension. I'll never forget, I was living in San Diego at the time, and we had a set of cams shipped to us. The first stage 2, maybe, they weren't quite in production yet for a 111 motor, and they shipped them to us, but there was no directions, right? We didn't know that the push rod dropped when you installed the cams. There was no custom tools from Lloyd'z. And so we're fucking, it's not like a Harley, you know what I mean? Where you just pull the cam out and put it back in, and I make that sound easier than it is. But, all the push rods fell, right? Which means you got to drop the motor, right? Pull the top end apart. You've all been there. There's not a tech in the world that hasn't dropped a cam or a lifter or a push rod on a set of cams over the years. And you either got a 50-50 shot. Either it slides back in or you're dropping the motor. And in this case, unfortunately, we had to drop the motor. But they built a really cool bike, Cam and Roland and my brother back in the day. And I don't know. I mean, like I'm all about custom motorcycles, and custom is used very loosely today. I think a lot of people bullshit on their bike and go, oh, it's fucking custom. And not every bike we build is a full blown banger. But if the first thing you do is put on exhaust and cams and an air cleaner, right on, you're heading in the right direction, right? Mm-hmm. But then, you got to have some body work, and you got to paint the thing, and how do you stand out? And I think my guys at the shop have done a good job of trying to build motorcycles for our consumers, if it's a free thing to do, that stand out from everybody else. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if you were to see a Music City Indian Custom, you're gonna be like, "Fuck yeah, I know that bike. I've seen it, not only on social media, but you've seen it on YouTube, and you know it came from our shop, and you know it's different, and we're pretty proud of that."
So when you do your tunes, do you do them there in dyno, or do you do remote tunes? What do you do?
So Ryan, so it's called Lloyd'z Tuning.
Mhm.
Obviously Ryan's kind of the mastermind behind that. So we obviously do a fair amount of remote tuning, right? So I think like my 23 Challenger, we stuffed a 22 computer in, right? And that was, you can't do that. Well, we did. And then this year, obviously, well, it's my personal bike. So, I mean, the VIN didn't match all the things. I'm not going to get into that, but, there's always a way around to make a bike go faster. In fact, I'm going to give a kudos to my boy, Rob, up in Wisconsin. He's got a great dealership up there as well. And I called him, and he was doing drags, and he had a 50 shot of NOS back in 2020 on his Challenger. And that was it. And I'm like, how in the fuck are you going over 110 miles an hour in a quarter mile? And Rob's like, dude, pull the ABS sensors. I'm like, no fucking way. Like, you go back to where this whole started, like with the manufacturers, governing our top end speeds and things of that nature. But Rob was smart enough just to think really simply and go, well, the only thing telling the computer how fast it's going is the ABS sensors. So if I pull those, slap a 50 shot of NOS on a stock Challenger, I'm going to haul ass in a quarter mile. And he's doing wheelies and shit, And
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, those guys are pretty cool. And he's got that, he's got a 116 or 117 kit now. And, we've done some work with those guys. But no, our tuning, we don't offer a dyno. We do offer some dynos if we want to. Like, I know Joey, my service manager, and Ryan has asked us, like over my shoulder, my Roadmaster, that's a 25 model, and everybody's, you can't tune a 25, and the masterminds did it, right? Ryan and them did it, and so we sent this bike over, and we got real dyno tune numbers, so we could show the general consumer, what you're able to get. And this is a mild build behind me. We're not even done with it. We're waiting on wheels, and of course the S&S exhaust that nobody can get. But go ahead.
So if somebody happened to have a 2025 Pursuit, they wanted to put a 2-to-1 on and have it tuned with a high flow intake, what does that look like from a timing perspective? How many days is that?
If you want to add a cam to it, we'll have it done same day, because we have blank ECUs in stock and ready to roll. So we can remote tune. I'm going to give Eli some love here. He's my youngest tech, and he's 29, but he's fast as fast can be. And we can slap a set of cams, throw a 2-to-1, and the air cleaner is not the big of a deal, and have it tuned normally same day. We like to have the bike for 24 hours. That way, when we're done, we can throw some miles on it. We never just want to knock it out and be like, here's your bike, and the dude gets 3 miles down the road and it's throwing check engine lights and shit like that. But no, our guys within 24 hours. We just did something on YouTube or something on one of our channels. Ebony and Ivory, we called it. We had a group of guys come in from Indiana, southern Indiana, and they had Challengers 25s or Pursuits, and they both dropped them off. And within, I think, 48 hours, we had both of those done. Cam tuned, cat delete. They kept the dual exhaust, but we did a cat delete. Cam's tuned, like I said, and the guys had it knocked out in no time. So.
Wow. So when you do the cat delete, you just put that mid-pipe conversion in. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, I think I'd have to ask. Of course, he's not present. Maybe he's over in the right column here talking shit. Jeff, my service advisor, I think he chooses tab performance for the cat delete for the guys that want to keep their dual exhaust. I mean, I can name drop all the brands, but we're pretty. We've worked with CMP, Mike out of Arizona. We were introduced to him from Kyle at Forever Rad years ago. I ran that on my Challenger for years. S&S obviously has an amazing product. As far as slip-ons, we've been Reinhardt for many, many years. I don't know exactly where we stand, but I know we're within their top, 3 dealers in the nation for selling, Reinhardts, because they sound fantastic, not only on the Thunderstroke, but on the Power Plus motor. Tab performance. I mean, there's only so many aftermarkets available. PG&A, if you will. Now that we have a pretty good lineup of people that we choose to do business with. I mean, Kraus is coming on strong, with his aftermarket PG&A, floorboards, foot controls. He's got a new set of hand controls coming out. But as far as performance is concerned, yeah, there's really just a handful of guys that we work with, and it's a tried and true setup, if you will. Not to say that you can't go outside that box, right? Like my buddy Rick Warden up in Minnesota, he port and polished my heads on a 112 through Revolution Performance a couple years ago. But we found, no disrespect to that setup, but a regular 112 with the proper tuning and 2-to-1, you're pretty close, right? I think until you really start pushing the envelope with, 117 or, guys that are even going larger than that are racing. I think a 112 with the proper tune and exhaust, you're pretty much good to go.
Cool. Great.
I got a question.
Now we talked about the Power Plus. Wait a minute. Don't even cut me off here. It's time to talk about the Thunderstroke because I'm a purist. I love the old engine. Tell me what you're doing for those.
He's got to take a drink.
No, not at all. That agave juice is pretty good. No, man, Tiffany, I built a bike a couple years ago, the Chief Classic, that we put T-bars on it from Kraus and 2-to-1 Trask stainless steel exhaust. And what is that? We did a 116 set of Lloyd'z cams. We tuned that one. With the remote tuning on the Thunderstroke motors, though, we were able to do wideband O2 tuning, so we could actually send that data. We would collect the data real time and send it back to the boys that do our tuning for us, and we could dial that in pretty quick. My brother's bike, God, I'd have to go back. He built a 19 or 20 or maybe a 21. What did we do on that bike? It was a Chief Dark Horse. Excuse me. And we put a 131 from Lloyd'z back in the day. And that bike's a fucking stump puller. We did carbon fiber wheels, T-bar setup, carbon fenders from Hoffman Designs, my buddy Curtis in Minnesota. He's got some dope product for Indians right now. If you guys don't know him, Curtis Hoffman, hit him up, call us.
I'm watching his video series on the FXR they're doing.
Oh, dude, his 86. So Hoffman was born in 86. So he's building himself a Liberty with an M8 right now, and it's sick as shit. That dude builds bangers, man. He builds bangers. He's a good dude, too. Even though he's got that, oh, yeah, you betcha, okay, already then. Like our boy Fish, who's following along here. Yeah. Midwestern.
But like I said, we've got the age-old discussion here. These two have pursuits, and they're good. And I've demoed they've done everything they can to get me on a Power Plus. I'm not doing it. Okay. I love the Thunderstroke. Thunderstrokes forever. That's my engine, and I'm sticking to it. Prying out of my cold dead hands.
I think, Max, if we could stick a Thunderstroke in the chassis of a Power Plus, I think you're onto something. I think that Power Plus chassis, though, fucking handles on rails, bro. Like, it's hard to beat the way that new chassis handles, personally.
I can understand that, but the thing is, though, there's nothing like the grunt of a Thunderstroke, the immediate visceral feeling you get, and there's nothing. And as far as the sound goes, you can talk about, you can put whatever pipe you want on a Power Plus, it's never going to sound as good as a Thunderstroke. Never.
I left for a little bit. Thought I missed this conversation. It didn't work.
Yeah, I was trying to leave also. Let me break in here for a second. Hey, if there's anybody new to the podcast, please like and subscribe to this podcast. That gets it more out there. I understand there's some issues with YouTube loading really slow. I guess maybe they were getting a DOS tonight or something like that. But it is not on our end. Just keep on trying. If you got friends trying to get on the podcast. But there's something going on with YouTube tonight, I guess. I don't know what it is, but anyway. I've got a couple questions here. Somebody wanted to know, I think he was being funny, but then he asked crickets. So maybe it is really a question. He said, hey, Google, how do you remove the ABS sensors from the Indian Challenger? Maybe
I love that.
But I thought maybe he was trying to ask us a question because later on he says crickets. So maybe he wasn't asking Google. Maybe he was asking Kameron here.
Writing Fish said what?
Yeah, he said take the
I
fuse out.
I can't tell you how to do that. Man, my luck, I'm going to get a lawsuit on Tuesday morning next week.
Yeah.
Man removes ABS sensors, eats pull at 111 versus 110. No, pretty straightforward, bud. Look for your fuse panel and find the ones that say ABS on it.
Yeah. Hey, Cameron, let me ask you a question here. Something, because Fish said he rode a Sport Chief with a 131 in it. When you talk about a 131 because of the heat that it generates, would you recommend like a remote oil cooler or an ultra cooler or something of that nature? Or do you think the Indian system
I think you should put
handle
those big fans on the side. Those are cool.
Oh,
the
no.
love
Those things are love jugs. Those things are
Love jugs. Yeah, love jugs. That's what they are. No, I mean, I think we did on my brother's bike because we put a 131 in his. We just added the oil cooler that used to come factory. I think it was circa 14 to 16, 17. All the Chiefs, all the vintages, all the Chieftains, all the baggers still have the oil coolers today, the Thunderstroke motors. Yeah, I think it's like $300 or something to add that. I don't think it's going to hurt anything. If you're going to jump up to a 131, absolutely toss an oil cooler on there. It's not going to hurt anything, but it's an air cooled motor, man. I mean, if you're sitting in bumper to bumper and it's 150 degrees out, maybe just pull over for a minute. I think that's just common sense. I'm not the end all be all when it comes to motors, and I'm not the end all be all to building bikes or anything like that. But we've all built some pretty powerful motorcycles and fast motorcycles, and none of ours have overheated, if you will, or run out of talent on the side of the road due to heat on a Thunderstroke. So, not to say it can't happen. I think a lot of our consumers till this day come in and say that the Thunderstroke offers a lot of heat off the right-hand side. And of course, my first response is, well, let's fucking cat delete that shit, right? That's where 50% of your heat comes from, is from Uncle Sam telling you, hey, let's clog this bad boy up. So,
absolutely.
Let's go ahead and do a true dual, or at the very least, cat delete it and do you, or 2-into-1 or something.
Yeah, so there's actually a question here. It's come through a couple times, and asking about Charlotte. So let's address that one. What do you think about Charlotte?
Cam, you've got all that money sitting around, right? You can go buy that dealership.
So I think again, and you're going to touch on a sour subject as a dealer principal and an advocate for all things two wheels. One, if you don't support your dealer, they're not going to stay in business. Here's an iconic location, right? In the name, the original owner back in the Kings Mountain era is going to slip my mind. Tim and Lloyd had it for a couple of years. I see this an awful lot on social media, and I'm really hesitant to say a whole lot because I don't want people to bash on me, obviously. But if you don't support your dealer to whatever degree that is, don't expect them to be there. We have to sell motorcycles. We have to sell parts. We have to work on motorcycles. We have to pay our staff. We have to pay insurance. We have to pay lighting. We have to pay rent or mortgages and insurance. And I'm not going to go down that path too. I already did, but the dealer network is made up of about 220 now in the U.S. And, we're going to see some changing of the hands, changing of the guard. I would love to open up. I've had this question before. I'll come back to that. I've had Memphis, Tennessee was an opportunity for us. We looked at after they went out of business. I have an amazing group of people out of Memphis. If you're watching, we love you. They support us. They drive 3 hours each way to get their oil changed or their tires changed or whatever. And we treat them just like any other customer, but we love them. The reality is, and I'll go back to your guys' original question, is what makes Music City Indian so special. And it's my staff. Yeah. And if I could duplicate my staff and open up 100 Indian dealerships nationwide, I'd do it tomorrow. Yeah. And if it was that easy, but the reality is finding good technicians and good sales guys and good people and riders. Everybody in my dealership rides an Indian motorcycle. It is not mandatory. It is not something I request. It is something that they're passionate about and they want to participate in. So with that, I would love to help you in Charlotte, just like I'd like to help somebody in Memphis or anybody else. But the reality is I can't duplicate my staff. And if any of you people out there think you're qualified, give me a call. And I would gladly duplicate my staff in another location.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
And speaking of
All
that, you've commented on your staff as much, and I want to tell you right now, we've been to a bunch of dealerships. Me and Les and Max have went to dealership after dealership to just test, and we should probably do it again this year, and get out there and just see how the customer support was. And I was reading because they had 45,000 people on their Facebook that liked that dealership. I was going through some of there, and you could see there was a time period where things wasn't going the way the customer looked like, because they were getting a lot of and when you have a good staff and you have a long-term staff, but if you have a lot of turnover and things happen, guess what happens? Your clients start disappearing, or your buyers start disappearing. So I don't know if that's exactly what happened, but I've seen a lot of comments in the the Facebook and stuff like that, where it looked like they were starting to have some customer relation issues, and and you can have all the reputation in the world, but it's harder to repair a bad reputation than keep a good one. So I don't know if that makes sense, I guess, but.
No, it does make sense, because a dealership is only as good as the customer base it supports, and the customers are kept happy, and the happy customers keep coming back to support the dealership.
And
we're seeing an example of that here in our local area, not with our Indian dealership, but one that was up north of us that was there for a minute, shut down. The Lexington one is shut down, and it's even happening to the Harley dealerships around here. The whole situation around here has gotten a little bit crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot of the market. It's what the market is right now. It's tough. I mean, they said another dealership closed down the other day. I can't remember what it was, some kind of Iron Horse or something like that in Tennessee. Also, can't remember what they were saying, but I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I think he's got a great team, and I think that's the reason why. I mean, if you are like our dealership, when I walk in there, it doesn't matter if I've been there a year or just last week. They always know me by name. It doesn't even know if I remember them. They always say, "Hey, Chris, what's going on? How's that Indian doing?" That kind of stuff. You need some service or something like that. And I think some dealerships lost the fact that customers were coming in, and then like the last 2 years. Sales and prices went up, recession, you name it, parts, you name it, all this stuff is went up, and people just they have customer service is what's really going to make you stand out if you're a good dealer in your area. So
Chris, you mentioned that when you walk into the local dealer, they know you by your first name, and that is absolutely true in Northern Kentucky. And I asked the manager Mike one time, I said, I don't come in here that much, but you know me by my first name. Every single time I come in, you always greet me. And I said, so tell me, I said, you either made a lot of money off of the deal that we did, or it was a really bad deal and you hated it. I said, so something made it memorable, which is it? And he never would comment and tell me which one it was. But no, you're absolutely right. Those guys, when they come in, they know you by name, they know who you are, and they're always very welcoming. So that means a lot to me. It's a personal touch.
Yep. Well, that's cool. All right, we need to get off that subject. Let's talk about a 19. What year is that motorcycle, Cam? Let me get ready to do this.
Are you doing the 47?
Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna try to get it here real quick.
That was my 47.
Yeah, because we want to definitely get some of this stuff in here that you wanted to get in here. So give me a second.
Well, this is just one of those cool stories, man. I mean, so we weren't even open yet. When did I move
Make sure
here?
this is the right one. Let me.
Well, if it's a Honda, you got the wrong one.
Well, you told me to put the Honda one up. We should have did some April Fool's jokes in that.
Well,
But
also they're mentioning the one behind him.
Well, that is my 47, or was my 47, I should say. I got another one coming.
I went to the wrong screen. I was working on some other stuff.
You want to do the Predators, or what?
Let's do this one first. Right here.
That one.
That's the 47.
That's the 47. So I sent you another photo of my buddy Tony and his wife Joy.
Oh, let me get that.
Yeah. So that the 47 came to me, I think 5 or 6 years ago. I forget. A customer of mine wrote it in, and then I said, if you ever want to let it go, let me know. And it never fails. They always call you when you just bought another toy, so you got to buy another one. And of course, my wife is going, Jesus, how many motorcycles than I have down there. But she's very supportive of my habit. It's definitely better than hookers and blow. So anyway, so yeah,
ain't that the truth?
The 47. That's I've ridden that bike all over, man. I love that bike. So there's my boy Tony and his wife. Amazing people. Tony came into my dealership before we opened. It was circa 2014. We didn't open until April 17th of 2015. And he was there from day one, knocking on the door. He was there and we had concrete floors. Indian Motorcycle shipped us bikes and we had them in crates inside the dealership before we had hardwood floors or displays or anything in our dealership. And Tony was there and he supported us from day one. I think he traded in a Harley Davidson Deluxe, if I recall, or something along those lines. He had maybe for a week. It was just a bad idea, he said, and traded it in for a new vintage, a black and red two-tone. Anyways, he's bought 5-10 motorcycles over the last 10 or 11 years we've been open. And he's a good friend. He's a dear friend, not because he spends money or any of that. He comes down. We had shop parties with him. He'd come in and work on his own bike in my shop back in the day. Like we wanted to put cams in his bike, he'd come down. He's trains all the Nissan people for Nissan vehicles, right? So if you're a mechanic at Nissan, at some point you went through Tony's class. Brilliant individual. And long story short, we'd hang out in the garage. He doesn't drink, but we're all drinking beer and showing him how to put cams and exhaust and, windshields and whatever ape hangers, whatever bullshit we put on his bike. And so about a week or so ago, he posts on social media some sob-ass story. And I don't want to take away from this because this is actually pretty good, but like, man, time's running out. I don't know if I'm ever going to get a 1947 Indian motorcycle. And I saw it and I'm like, dude, I'm 46, right? I'm like, fuck, I can buy another motorcycle. And I hadn't bought the one I just bought the other day yet. I was in process, but it's not done yet. And I'm like, so I hit him up and called him and texted him. And I'm like, do you really want a 40? I mean, I'll sell you my 47. He's like, no way. And a few texts and phone calls later, him and mama came down and, had to show him how to operate it, advance and retard on the timing and fuel and kicking it and, jockey shift. And I did a reverse on that bike. So instead of being left-hand throttle, I did right-hand throttle, which is reverse, but it was an easier to ride for me, and shifting on the left side versus the right side. But, and we did a 12-volt conversion, I believe, on that one as well. But anyways, he came down and we fulfilled his dream, which I think is very cool. I mean, these older bikes are not normally ridden. They're kind of display pieces. I like to ride the shit out of all my bikes. That was one I rode a great deal. And now he texted me today. In fact, he's like, bro, I've been out every Sunday when I'm not working at the shop. And, he's enjoying it the same way I did. And I don't know. I just think it's really cool to see how my very first customers come full circle now to pass the torch on to a classic motorcycle that's almost 80 years old, 79. And he's out and enjoying a classic, I don't know, Indian motorcycle. It's very, I don't know. Yeah. It's very neat. If I wasn't a dealer principal or owner or part of this business, I wouldn't be able to tell these stories. So I'm forever grateful for that.
That bike is my dream bike. I've admired that bike and wanted one since I was a little kid. I have a model of it downstairs, and a 47 Chief is my dream bike, and someday I'll get one.
Les, do you drink? Les, do you drink?
What's that?
Do you drink?
Occasionally. Why?
Well, stop and sell your liver, bro. They're like, for 25 grand, you can have one. You don't need it. You don't need it. Just go get you one.
Oh my goodness.
You're so
There's a comment.
I think I'll find another way.
Yeah, there was a comment in here that says how similar it looks to the vintage. We were talking about that a little earlier. Let's talk about that.
Well, before we do that, hold on a second. William Blaze said that he has Tony's old Challenger. He is the reason I love Music City. I have my plates covered on my bike still. I need to replace my shirt in April for Supercross. I don't know what all that means, but
so Tony, the guy in the picture, my first customer, he bought a Challenger from us at one point. Actually, Kelly Yazdi was in town. I don't know if you know her. Brand ambassador for Indian and a magnificent human being. Google her if you don't. she was in town and we're shooting the shit, and he came in to buy his motorcycle that day. And long story short, he wasn't in love with the Challenger as much as he is with his Blue Diamond 2016 Roadmaster. So he sold that bike private party to the gentleman, I believe, that's commenting currently on the right side here.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I'm trying to read through it while we're sitting here chatting and not lose focus. But if you need a t-shirt, just come down to the shop and I'll replace that ratty one for you on me. Okay, bud? So just come on down to the shop. We'll get you a new Indian t-shirt on us. Okay.
Awesome.
There you go. All right. So the vintage, what's your opinion of it? Because myself, I really thought they could have souped up the engine a little. I mean, why not make it a 121 or a 125? It's easily done. And the 125 would have symbolized the year of Indian. So why not?
So I'm going to be sarcastic first, and then I'm going to be serious second. One, Max,
of course,
with your gray beard, an aging demographic is looking at Indian motorcycle, looking for the not necessarily fringe, but the swooping fenders that we've currently gone away from, the iconic look of Indian. So if you look back at the vintage, the Chief, the Dark Horse, the Roadmaster, the Chieftain, all the way up to I think it was 17 or 18. Yeah, Springfield, excuse me. Classic Indian motorcycle. You can't miss it from 100 yards away, right? You look at that fender and you know it's not a Kawasaki Drifter. And I think what's happened is as our demographic is getting older, and not all, we are seeing a next generation. We can touch base on that. Not only women riders, but the next gen in a minute. But as our demographic gets a little bit older, they're going, man, I really want those swoopy fenders, but my legs, my back, my body is incapable of holding up an 800 or 900 pound Roadmaster, because that's the only body or style of current Indian motorcycle you can acquire that has those swoopy fenders. So twofold. One, coming back with 125th, which there's going to be a lot of hate on this, has nothing to do with consecutive years of being in business. It's just 125 years of an iconic brand. Take it for what it is. Don't be so sensitive, and celebrate with us the fact that we have two American brands that are celebrating hundreds of years of being in business and creating product for the end consumer, that it's only getting better with that competition. So back to the vintage. It's a great product for the guy who might be riding a Roadmaster or Springfield or a heavier Chief from the older era, to be able to get on something a little bit more light and nimble with a 116 power plant. I had an opportunity. I didn't get a chance to ride it. I did get a chance to sit on it at the dealer meeting this year, like 36-hour turnarounds from LA and back home to Nashville. But from my 47 to the 2026 model, I was a little concerned after the 1901 seat we stuffed on a Scout, right? Let's be honest, that thing was a fucking brick. So when I got on this bike, I was really concerned, like, is this thing going to be that way? And I got on it, and the seat was as comfortable as my 47 was, minus the suspension in the seat, because that bike has epic suspension in the actual suspension of the bike, right? My 47 had maybe an inch of throw in the actual suspension, but 6 inches in the seat. It was the opposite. No suspension in the seat, but really comfortable suspension on that Chief platform, which we all love today since 2022. So I think the first iteration of the Chief vintage is really cool, because it gives the older guy an opportunity to ride a classic motorcycle again that doesn't weigh the 800-900 pounds. Makes him kind of feel nostalgic. If you can't go less, pick up a 1947. And it's a great throwback for the 125th anniversary of Indian motorcycles. And Ola and his team have done an amazing job of bringing back. If you look at my 47, and I know you don't have another photo of the vintage, side by side, they're perfect, other than the technology in between. And I think that was the reason why they did that. Now, as far as horsepower and torque and all that shit, I can't wait to get my fucking hands on one and totally torture it and bastardize it and do what we do. But that'll come with time. I think just out of the box, maybe that was kind of what they were focusing on with this particular. And I don't want to speak for anybody at Indian. I don't pretend to, but I think it was a really cool thing to bring out when they brought it out, especially with, celebrating the 125th.
So that's awesome. I know, let's see, Indian Adventures, he said he was on it for 8 hours. Now, did you ride it a lot down there also, and when you was in California at the dealer meetings? Cam?
Wait, did I have an opportunity to ride it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No. That's what I was saying earlier, Chris.
Okay.
For the dealers ourselves, we flew in pretty quick, and
Okay.
as you can imagine, as dealer principals with an investment into the Indian brand,
Mm-hmm.
we were all very keen on finding out, kind of like our consumer was, like, oh shit, right? Like Indian just sold to this private equity firm,
Mm-hmm.
and we were really taken off guard, if you will. At the same time, I think our consumers were, albeit to then be not only set at ease, but re-energized about the Indian brand at this meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you'll find a lot of the influencers and people that had time to spend in California did that. I had to come back to an ice storm here in Tennessee, so I didn't really get a lot of time in the saddle on that bike. I was able to sit on it at the meeting and touch it and feel it and look at it and compliment it and make sure I was able to come back and tell my staff about what was going on. But no, I have a black Chief teed up in my shipping schedule. I think it ships sometime this week. So I can promise you the poor guy that gets that bike will have a bike with probably 30 or 50 miles on it instead of 7 or 8 normal PDI miles. But so such is life, right? Like we all want to ride it just like you do. So, but yeah, I mean, but like I said, for most of us back at the LA meeting, not only did Carrollwood, and I don't even want to call them that, not only did Indian Motorcycle put on one hell of a show, but they really rejuvenated the dealer network. And it wasn't just because they said the right things. It's, Mike Kennedy coming in, being a motorcycle enthusiast. Not only that, Joel Harmon, who's been with you guys don't even know Joel, he's our VP, he's been with the brand for a long, long time. They did a wonderful job of just getting back to our core of riding motorcycles and being fucking bikers and being dealer centric and making that experience for the end consumer better. And I hope that our consumer sees that in the oncoming years. And dude, man, we're on a rocket ship. We're about ready to. I've seen a lot of shit. I can't tell everybody. I've seen some 27 stuff. I mean, these guys are so far ahead already. Like, I honestly cannot wait for the end consumer to see all this fun stuff they got coming. And the aftermarket performance and accessories that Mike's got planned for us and the team at Indian, not just Mike. We're really pumped. I mean, we're really pumped. As a dealer, this is the first time I've been excited since 2016, to be perfectly honest with you. Not that I'm not excited about Indian, but like the organization as a whole has got a lot of energy, a lot of fuel in it. They're running on 100 plus octane and they're fucking pumped. And so are we.
All right. So one of the questions you talked about aftermarket, and we'll talk about this meeting here for a few minutes. What do you think about dealers? Should they adopt aftermarket parts on their floor now?
If they don't, they're losing money.
Yeah, exactly.
If you and I'm going to stay away from social the best I can. But if you look at social media today and how many comments I get through Facebook and Instagram when we post a video, like, hey, where do I get that? And hey, what did you do to this? And we want to help everybody. But the reality is, if I just start handing you part numbers and pricing and you go directly to that person, does that make sense? Like, there's still a business involved. And I think people kind of forget that. Like, yeah, we built some cool shit and we want you to come support us, right? Like, if you like what we're doing, come support us, because that's what allows us to continue to expand and do cool shit. But what's happening is a lot of these consumers that aren't in the Nashville area or not in, God, I'm trying to pick, whether it's Lloyd'z up in Minnesota or my boys up in Metro Milwaukee, or I don't know, I'm in Sturgis. I don't want to not miss any. I don't want to miss anybody that is doing cool stuff. But if you're not participating in aftermarket, then the consumer's bypassing that dealership. And the problem is that a lot of consumers go put all this shit on their motorcycles, and then when they have a fuck up or it's not working right, they bring it to their dealer. And then they wonder why their dealer isn't supporting them. They're like, well, wait, we didn't have anything to do with this. right? Like you bought all this stuff online, you put it on your bike, and now there's a problem with it. Wait, how is that my problem? How am I supposed to warranty that? Whereas if you come to Music City Indian and we do it, we're not only going to warranty it, but we're going to make sure it's running right every time. And that's not just a push on me. I'm back to the aftermarket. Slip-on mufflers, cat deletes. That's the biggest complaint we have with Thunderstrokes, Max. I mean, you know this. You get on that bike with the fucking catalytic converter, it burns your right leg. It's been a problem since day one. We avoided it. But then the aftermarket jumped on the bandwagon and said, dude, check this out. Reinhardt, Freedom, Toast, I don't know, pick a brand that had a cat delete and did away with that heat. Go ahead.
Tab.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I can't sit here and name all the epic. I mean, hopefully throughout the show we'll make sure we get an opportunity to promote everybody we work with. I mean, you can look at Jake from Barnstorm and Tony from Audette. I mean, guys that aren't really front and facing but have epic products. I mean, I could go on for hours. I wish I had a Rolodex of everybody we deal with because they're all amazing in their own right, and they've all participated and contributed to the growth in the aftermarket parts and accessories for Indian motorcycle. But I think you're going to see with our new management and our new CEO and our new vibe and our new whatever you want to call it, a lot of aftermarket. I'm excited to see what Vance and Hines does. I know Mike Kennedy had a lot of, he obviously worked there and he was the man there. And it was a big shift, I think, for everybody to see S&S go to the wayside with Indian this year, and you see Vance and I's coming on board. Really excited to see what they do. I'm excited to see what Vance and Hines is going to bring to the market. Historically, they got a lot of slip-ons and stuff. We have not installed a lot of V&H, but we're looking forward to potentially doing more of it if it makes sense for my consumer and it puts out parts that are performance oriented and create power, not just noise. So, I'm not just jumping on the Vance and Hines bandwagon at this time because we are, but I'm excited, I mean, hopefully they come out with some cool shit.
Well, the thing is, though, I just don't want you to make a mistake about what I'm saying here, because here's the thing. We've talked to a couple of dealerships like Pikes Peak. You guys are doing the forefront and leading the way in showing people things to do and showing other dealerships what to do. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm sure that Chris and Les will agree with me, if we look at we look at Pikes Peak, we look at your dealership, and we look at what's the dealership down where Jack Daniels ride is.
That's
Chattanooga.
Chattanooga.
Yeah,
between those,
John and Casey are good guys. Mm-hmm. Yeah, John and Casey
between
are good
the
people.
Three of you, between the three of you and Milwaukee, you guys are showing the way of the future. So nobody's arguing about that. I mean, that's you guys are pilot lights to show the way.
Well, that's very nice of you to say. I think the reality is that we just, back to where you guys asked, I mean, like, we are separated from a lot of other dealers because we love aftermarket parts. We don't want our bikes to look like everybody else's. So how do you do that?
Yeah, exactly.
So you reach out to all these. I mean, we talked briefly before the show started. I mean, we've been giving motorcycle. When I say give, not everybody jump on social media and be like, I want a free bike. We've been literally hand and spoon feeding motorcycles to not just influencers, but to manufacturers, small mom and pop shops that manufacture goods, custom bike builders, right? For years. For years we've been doing this. And some things we've seen some great ROI on. Other things, have kind of shit the bed, if you will. But the reality is that we're advocates for the brand. So, hey, if you're a Harley Davidson guy and you like Indian motorcycle, but you don't have an Indian to work on because you don't want to go invest $30,000, here's a free motorcycle for a year. And when you're done with it, either give it back or buy it from me, right? It's pretty simple proposition. And in that time, that person or manufacturer or creator can then manufacture parts and accessories because they have that product in-house to play with. You know how expensive it is to go buy a new motorcycle for every bike that comes out every year and then say, oh, well, I'm going to go make floorboards for this, or I'm going to make shifters for that, or air cleaners for this. It's impossible. Money doesn't fucking grow on trees. So how do we help promote the aftermarket business and I don't mean just people tagging us in a post saying we're influencers, right? We need people that are really going to manufacture good parts for our end consumer that people want in return of said free motorcycle. And I'm not going to name drop here, but we have been influential with a lot of aftermarket parts and accessories that you guys probably already have on your motorcycles, and a lot of people buy for their motorcycles today because we gave somebody an opportunity to throw them on an Indian where they otherwise wouldn't have that opportunity. And I would like to see more dealers doing that.
Hey, Les.
Yeah.
Chris is holding out on us, man. Where are our free bikes at?
What are you talking about? I don't have free bikes.
I better get a free bike before you guys do.
I know one thing. I'm
Damn it.
gonna be driving down to Nashville pretty soon, just to check this place out. But anyway, we're also forgetting Pikes Peak. Pikes Peak does a lot of that stuff. They're just way too far.
Mhm.
I mean, if you look at the top dealerships that do,
Did I not say Pikes Peak?
No, you said
I
Crockett.
did.
Crockett doesn't do much.
I said Pikes Peak first.
Oh, maybe you did. I don't know. But anyway, but he is I don't think there's anybody on this eastern side that even does anything close to Music City. The only one that I know of is way west, which is Pike Peak, and Metro Milwaukee is new to me. But I mean, I'm sure they're a great dealership. But I'm just telling you, man, it's competition. Yeah. You know, as a lot of dealerships get involved in the aftermarket parts, but the problem is he has the crew. He has the crew that takes care of everything, that knows, and he's had a long term. Doesn't have turnover. So I would say if you are looking for upgrades or looking for something, I mean, this is the dealership that you want to go if you're on the East Coast. So go ahead.
Well, thanks, Chris. And I think just based on what you just said, I think the stronger the dealer network is, the better our end consumer is going to be. Maybe that didn't come out right, but like, we're not the end all be all. We don't sell, we're a top 30 dealer in the nation this year, right? So we're not, we're not up there with Sturgis or Daytona because we don't have those big bike weeks. And there's some other great dealers that sell maybe more than us, but I think the competition is okay. We're not undercutting each other on pricing and stuff like that. I just think if the end consumer could go to more dealerships and pick up said products, maybe not all of them. I understand some dealers don't want to get into tuning because there's some liability and things of that nature. And God, I couldn't tell you how many fucking head gaskets we've replaced over the years. But the beauty is, a lot of these guys come back like, I want drag race on my motorcycle. And, the added bonus is you can plug right on in and it'll tell me how long you've been running 120 miles an hour. So don't bullshit us. And when that temperature is peaking off about 230, you might want to back off a little bit. But, really, I don't want to miss out on promoting all Indian dealers. They're all amazing in their own right. This isn't about us versus them. This is hopefully, especially with what Mike Kennedy came in and said with the aftermarket moving forward, I think there's a lot of dealers that might change their tune on what's going on, what's fancy, what's cool, moving forward. I think a lot of the dealers will start jumping on the bandwagon, and I think that'll help not only the dealer network but our end consumer. And I think that's the most important. I think end consumers feel a little left out depending on where they're located in the U.S. They may not have as strong of an aftermarket dealer. It doesn't mean they're a bad dealer. It just doesn't mean they haven't picked up with the times yet. So. Give them a shot. Maybe instead of going in saying you suck, just be like, hey, man, I really want to pick up this part. And maybe said service advisor might pick up the phone and become a dealer for that aftermarket part or accessory. So I don't, I'd love to take all the fucking call me 615-401-9341. That's all your business. But musiccityindia.com. Yeah, Shopify. Get a hold of Jeff. No, but really, I think the beauty of having such a massive iconic brand is that everybody needs to be successful and everybody needs to do well. And I really hope that's the case. I really want to see American V Twins motorcycling culture as a whole continue to grow and prosper. And damn it, if you got kids and you're not teaching them to ride a bike, more or less a motorcycle, shame on you. Because we need more younger riders out there riding.
So let's talk about this, all right? Because there's a lot of fear out there and that kind of stuff. And I think dealerships, I mean, some of the owners, they might have been in bad shape, and that's the reason why some of them are closing. But what you see on Facebook is like, well, this dealership closed, and that kind of stuff. and we do need more competition. But right now, it looks like there's a shrinkage of dealerships, and that's Harley too. It's just the market, and I think a lot of people are out there. You know, they got these YouTube channels, and they're saying this is the reason. But I think the real reason is a lot to deal with the inflation, that kind of stuff, and it's just, people. It's a luxury item. These motorcycles become luxury items now, and I know Mike Kennedy, and we could talk about Mike Kennedy here in a few minutes, but I mean, I would love to see if I went to my dealership and say, "Listen, can you do this? Can you do that? Are you a Lloyd'z? Can you get this tune? Can that do a cat delete? That kind of stuff." I mean, I think that'd be awesome, and I think Northern Kentucky or Ride NKY can do that stuff for me. But I don't think they have right now the talent, and then that's what you have to get. Is you have to get the talent in these dealerships, so they're not screwing bikes up. And that's where I think a lot of dealerships are saying, I'm not touching aftermarket, because right now we know how to change oil, but we sure in hell don't know how to change rims, that are bigger, aftermarket.
Or install
spacers.
131 kits.
Yeah, 131 kits.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. And I think to actually get that talent, what takes is a lot of money. It takes a lot of money to get that tech person. You can train them. But I mean, do you agree or disagree, I guess?
Okay.
I'm sorry. I do to a certain degree. I think it also comes down to a dealership mentality.
Okay.
Again, we're an anomaly. I mean, you can, this is a sensitive subject. Music City Indian is an anomaly, hands down. I mean, I started this dealership back in 2015, and I think it was Joey, myself, and my buddy Joel, who used to run my San Diego outfit and now is super successful up in South Dakota selling whiskey. But, there was no owner's manual, right? Like you just got to dip your balls. Nobody showed us how to split cases on an Indian motorcycle. You got the same bronze, silver certification. And if you're lucky enough to fly up to Minnesota and get some hands-on training back in the day to do some wiring diagnostic and things of that nature, good on you. But the reality is it's just a motor. It's just a motorcycle. And if somebody can build it, you can fix it. And I think it requires a little bit of effort, not only on management side, but on our employees side, to go above and beyond and learn a little bit more, or ask questions, or network where it's not always competitive. We've been talking about that all night. My guys have gone above and beyond and asked questions they didn't know the answers to, and worked with the engineers and the brighter people who manufacture these bikes up in Indian. And, they really helped them through that process. And, I can see the fear factor. I can see where certain dealers are like, man, I don't want to deal with that because I got a shitty tech. Well, it doesn't have to be expensive, but just, get an attaboy and hey, you're doing a good job, or I don't know. I'm not going to tell people how to fucking manage, because I'm not even that good at it, to be honest with you. But you gotta empower the guys to at least give it a go. Pull a bike off your show floor, fuck with it a little bit, and worst case scenario might be under warranty if it's a 25.
Yeah, and the other thing, I think what it hurts dealerships to actually do that kind of stuff, because I think there's very rare dealerships like you that only do Indian, right? I mean, you don't have any other brands in your.
I do carry Vespa. It hasn't been very lucrative for us, but it's been a fun brand. I got 7 colleges in my backyard and a lot of rich folks that have kids that go to school there. And look, Vespas are fun. I have one up at my house in South Dakota. We rip it around to and from the bar, but our core business is Indian motorcycle for sure.
Yeah, so I think what another thing that impacts it is because we got these multi dealerships. They don't want to invest in the aftermarket because they're selling KTMs, they're selling this motorcycle, they're selling this motorcycle. Their shop is swamped with bikes coming in, hopefully, and that's probably, I think, individual dealerships that are just only selling Indian can get in the aftermarket a lot better, a lot easier, and get the techs a lot sooner than what these other. I just think that's one of the other hindrances that are going on with these dealerships, Indian dealerships. So, I mean, you can speak on that. Do you want?
Yeah, I think that I think a lot of people come to Nashville and look at my store. I'm only 7,000 square feet under roof, so I'm not a big dealership. The only reason I'm still in business today is we have a sweetheart deal. I mean, my overhead's low. Minus, of course, you have staff and employees and all the things that add up. But this adage of building this fucking McMansion for everybody to come hang out at that doesn't spend money in your dealership, they just want to come see it, that doesn't work, right? Having a 20,000 square foot dealership that doesn't financially make sense. So say you're paying 40, 50,000 a month for overhead, even if you own it. How do you justify it if you're selling 10 new motorcycles a month and you might be doing 20 grand a month in labor? I'm not going to get into P&Ls tonight, but it doesn't pencil, does it?
No.
It just doesn't pencil. So sometimes less is more. You know, I run a 6-man crew outside of myself, and you know, I think it's really hard not to diversify when you have a large overhead. Meaning, you know, if you got 10, 15, 20,000 square feet, you need to bring on other brands. You may not be as strong at Indian because that's what we're talking about, but you need to cater to more people because that's where your revenue is coming from. I don't fault guys for doing shit like that. You got to do what you got to do to pay the bills.
Yeah.
But if you want to be an Indian standalone, yeah, it's something you kind of got to focus on everything Indian motorcycle related. So we didn't really have much of a choice. If we're just going to do bolt on and add fringe back in the early 14, 15, we weren't going to be in business for long. So we had to diversify and we had to come up with new ways. And honestly, we wanted to. We just thought the bikes were cool. They just needed to be cooler. I think that's just a general.
So Ginger is saying, can I ask your question? Yes, we're going to ask your questions. We just didn't want to interrupt. I'm sorry. I just did interrupt you.
Yeah, I saw that pop up. That was interesting. Yeah.
So this is the question. It's on screen now. Do you think that more Indian dealerships will open with newer ownership operating, not corporate owned, that are owned state?
There's a misconception there, bud. Indian Motorcycle doesn't own dealerships. We own our own dealerships. There's no OEM. OEMs don't own dealerships. We are all standalone. There might be some. I don't even want to say that because I don't know that that's true. I own my own dealership. Indian Motorcycles has nothing to do with paying my overhead.
Yeah, gotcha. Now
I'm sorry. That's not to be rude. I think you're going to see a lot of. I don't want to let any cats out of the bag. You're going to see more Indian dealerships nationwide now than potentially before under new leadership. I think you're going to see some interesting brands side by side with Indian Motorcycle under one roof. Maybe same roof, separate entrances, which could be really, really exciting. And to be honest, I would love to do it if I had the money. And I'll let you guys figure that out on your own as time moves on. But Indian Motorcycles isn't going anywhere. The dealer network is only going to get stronger because our OEM is going to focus on Indian motorcycle dealers moving forward, if that makes sense. Right. They're dealer centric and they want to help us be better at what we do and also provide a better interaction with our consumers. They want us to do our jobs better, not because they're telling us, but they want to give us the tools to really do better and give the end consumer a better result. And I hope that came out right and it makes sense.
All right. Yeah, you're great. I mean, you're right. Sorry. I'm actually reading the notes and I'm saying commenting on the notes here. I mean, not the notes, but the comments.
Oh, you're reading my comments.
Yeah. Hey, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
hey, so before we move on, I know there's a lot of questions here. Connie, do you have any of the questions ready to go? Because I know we were going through here and the people were like asking questions like crazy. And I know we do.
I've been watching them, but I can't keep up.
I know I can't keep up either. There's so many of them.
Well, Jeff had one.
Yeah,
you might have already touched on it. I don't
it?
know. Cam, do you think inventory reduction and aftermarket inclusion will help make dealers more viable? I don't know if you answered that one or not.
No, we did not. We did not talk about that one.
Okay.
There's my big smile on my face. So, yeah, I mean, look, I'm even. I gotta be careful. Shit, fuck it. No, you're fine. Here's the deal. It becomes. There's so much. I think we have 218 variations of Indian motorcycles today. So if you take from the lineup top to bottom, right? So let's go up Pursuit, Roadmaster, Roadmaster Limited, Pursuit Dark Horse, Pursuit Limited, regular Pursuit, Roadmaster Dark Horse, Roadmaster Limited. I mean, I can go all the way down. Scout Power. Fuck it. It goes on and on and on. There's add colors, add stereos. There's 218 or 15 or 11 variations. I'm confused and I own the joint. How do you think our consumer feels? Right? Like I got a phone call the other day. Guy's like, man, I'm looking for a Sports Scout Limited. I'm like, okay. Is that the one with or without the GPS? He's like, what? I'm like, exactly. I like at some point there's just too many variations of the same models. So I believe that with the reduction, whatever that looks like, I don't have the answers. I can't speak for Indian motorcycles, but it sounds like they would like to trim a little of the fat off. And with that, I think we're going to see stronger product, good product, maybe some different color variations, a little easier for consumers to go online and say, hey, do you have this bike? Because it doesn't matter if I buy a black bike, you want a red one. If I bought an orange bike, you want a green one. I can't keep up. I only have 6,777 square feet. I can't fit 213 or 11 or however many bikes under one roof. So yeah, I also think it's going to open up the opportunity for us to say, hey, I'm going to use black as an example, not because it's my favorite color or not my favorite color, but you can come in and buy a black Challenger today, and instead of it, look, if you want it all with the bells and whistles, picture for the Harley guy CVO, there it is, right? It comes with all the bullshit. If you don't want it, there it is. It doesn't come with it. And then that's where my service guys and my service advisor come in and say, look, here's that motorcycle. Now let's go into work. Let's get some cams. Let's get some exhaust. You want aftermarket radio? Let's call up our boy Brandon down at Davidson Audio. Let's go down the laundry list of shit that we want to add to it. But it's one or the other. Right now we have so much in between. The end consumer's like, well, I can afford this, but I really want this, but we have this. It's like, man, just keep it simple, right? Like either you want to buy a bike and you want to build it the way you want it, or you want to buy the bike with all the shit on it, and that's the way you're going to get it, and that's okay too. It's just there's just too many variations at some point.
I have to tell you that I went and looked at Scouts and I was overwhelmed. Let's put it that way, at how many different types of Scouts there were. So
I have 22 on my fucking
I was going to say
shoulder.
You probably that's the one you probably have the most of.
And by the way, I'm not knocking Polaris or Indian motorcycle. It's fine. I'm happy to I'm happy to have a variety of motorcycles on my show floor for the end consumer. I'll never, like I said, we're never gonna appease everybody with all the products that we have. Yes, we need variety. Yes, we need Scouts. Yes, we need Chiefs. Yes, we need vintages. Yes, we need all the variations of each model. To a certain degree. The beauty of the Scout and the technology we have today is that you can buy a base model Scout for, I don't know, what is it, $99.99, right? Scout Bobber 60, 10 grand, you can come pick up a brand new bike. And the beauty is, like, if you want GPS somewhere down the road, fucking add GPS. You want to push button start? Add push button start. Nothing, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to go spend a year's worth of your paycheck to go buy a new motorcycle. And you can build it as you go. And I think that's the cool thing about aftermarket and customization.
Okay, but then we can go the other direction too. Because let's look at the Springfield, probably the most neglected line in Indian's lineup. Because you can only get two. You can get a classic or you can get a modern. Those are the only two Springfields you can get.
I love the Springfield.
But I will say, so we sold two in January, which is not normal in Tennessee to sell two Springfields in the same month, more or less, than the coldest month of the year. But with the 116 coming factory with the Springfield Classic, that makes a big difference. And their color options this year are sexy. They switched it up a little bit. And also, I mean, I'm going to throw it out there. My buddy Brian Clock, he's got a pretty cool FXRP fairing that slaps right on that Springfield. That looks pretty dope if you want to ride a bagger and have. I'm just saying.
On the new style, that's absolutely correct. But like I said, there are two variations. The colors, great. But styles, there's only two. You've got the classic fendered, swoop fendered one, or you've got the modern ape hanger, put Brian Clocks, who I know very well also, on the front and make something modern out of it. But you've only got two.
So devil's advocate, think Road King today. Well, how many variations of the Road King are there?
Tons. I mean,
what do you mean tons?
Paint. I mean, I'm talking about paint.
Oh, paint options.
Yeah.
Paint. Yeah, there's tons of paint options. But as far as the style of a Road King,
it's all the same. Yeah.
It's all the same.
I mean, back in the day, they had what the Road King Custom, the Road King Classic, which had leather bags. You had the Road King Standard, then you had the Road King. I'm not, and by no means, I don't know all the Harley models, but that middleweight segment is really interesting because you either want like a Chief or a Scout, or you want a full fairing, and it's interesting, right? Like it's a great question, Max. Historically, we've sold anywhere from like 8 to 12 Springfields annually. I'd have to go back and check those numbers. So maybe one a month, I guess if you look at it like that. So it hasn't been as popular, but the ones that we've got our hands on have been a lot of fun. And, the ability to throw bags on and T-bar setups and stuff like that. You can really, that's the other thing. There's a lot of aftermarket available for those bikes. You just got to think outside the box.
So,
and you do. Go ahead, Chris.
Our friend, Ginger's a real good friend to the podcast, and her husband is Brad. He's a BFP Garage LLC in Arizona. Now, he wanted to clarify the question. Ginger was asking about more privately owned dealers like yourself and Pikes Peak versus Ride Now and Go Arizona, big corporate owned.
Oh, look, I mean, y'all are opening up a can of worms. I
think. Don't go there if you don't want to.
You don't have
That's
to.
not what this is about.
It's okay. So here's the deal. This is going to be more business centric than it is dealership centric, and I apologize for Miss. Is it Ginger? Is that what you said her name was? Ginger. So Ginger, what you're finding is, property taxes are going up. Standalone Indian locations can't necessarily make it on their Harley. Standalone locations can't make it on their own. Hence why you see more multi-lines coming in. So with that, it's not always bad, but you look at a Ride Now, for instance, they have so many different brands under one roof, and they own multiple stores, so they can cost. I don't pretend to know Ride Now's business model, so please don't hold it against me. But I'm going to go from a business perspective and say, if I own multiple locations with multiple brands and multiple stores, I'm going to look at it. I'm a conglomerate now, right? So I have all these stores, and all these stores provide financial income into my piggy bank, and all these stores have costs. And at the end of the day, Cameron's got this in his hands. Does that make sense? So I have more back here than I can then figure out where I need to disperse those funds amongst many stores. Whereas a standalone location, we have what we have. So you're going to see more, I'm seeing more car dealerships buying, whether it be Harley Davidsons or multi-line stores. I'm not going to mention names because I know way too many. We are seeing more people that own multiple locations buying up standalone stores. Yes. And I think you're going to continue to see that because it's harder and harder as a standalone to be profitable with what it costs to run one of these today successfully. Does that help?
Understandable.
Yeah.
We understand what you're saying, but we just experienced that right here because that one Indian dealership that we just talked about that was in northern part of our greater Cincinnati area was a Ride Now store. It was here for a minute and then they shut it down.
Yeah.
So if you look at your portfolio when you're playing in the stock market and one of your pieces of your portfolio isn't successful, do you keep it or do you get rid of it?
They didn't have time to even prove it would be successful. It was how long was it open?
It
Wes?
was about a year.
But take the emotion out of it. If they lost, call it $500,000 in a year, and it was cheaper for them to. I'm sorry, I play devil's advocate because I'm a business guy. If I'm losing $1 million keeping this store open, and I have another one, I don't know, I don't know their location, so I have to apologize. But if I have another one within 100 miles that's successful or is a viable business, then I'm going to cut the fat loose and move on. So there's two sides, like because power sports is an emotional. Look, I think somebody said it in the podcast earlier. This is a novelty item. We're passionate. I don't care if you ride Yamaha, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Indian motorcycles, what we're talking about today, or Harley. This is our thing. Like we're passionate about it. So when a dealership goes tits up, or if somebody upsets you, you're upset because this is a novelty item you've invested in and you're really passionate about. So sometimes it's really hard to step away from that and say, okay, wait a minute, I have to go to work. and collect a paycheck, and those aren't fun things to do in order to afford this hobby. The other side of that is somebody's got a business that has to pay employees and overhead and all those stuff. And at some point, the bank account runs dry and they got to cut it loose. So I don't know that it needs to be negative all the time. I think a lot of people got into the power sports business that maybe shouldn't have. And I think we're going to see a turning point. I think there's a lot of changing of the guard happening in our industry. And I think it's a positive. And as long as people continue to ride and support whatever brand they believe in or are happy with, we're going to have two wheels for life. And with that, let me expand. 8% of the population rides motorcycles today, and that's a licensed population. It used to be 8.5%. Somebody over there is Googling MIC right now going, he's fucking 8.25. But the reality is that if we had another quarter, half, 3/4, or even 1% of the US population go out and get a motorcycle endorsement and contribute to our sport, you wouldn't have dealerships closing today. That's how fucking massive that number is to power sports and two-wheel vehicles.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you a little bit of history of Ride Now and that dealership. So it took them like 4 or actually 6 months to even get a parts department. So that's where a lot of their money is in parts. The service department wasn't even there. They didn't even have some of the counters up after a year. So Ride On was supposed to be one of the biggest dealerships in the country. That poor mismanagement of that dealership is what really greatly made that dealership disappear. The other thing is it was in a bad location. So they got a great deal in the building from the city and that kind of stuff. But to get in and out of that place, especially if you're a new rider, it had a parking lot that was in a dip. And as soon as you got up to the dip, if you didn't have brake, whatever you call it, assist, you'd be rolling back, or you got to go on a highway everybody's going 45 miles per hour. It's 4 lanes and everything else. So,
Yeah.
And there was no way to go do test rides in that place. I mean, that was just a poorly created dealership, and they probably could have put it in a better location, and it probably would have been a success. But there was a lot of things going wrong with that dealership from the beginning, and it's crazy. But that's all I can say about that. But I appreciate.
Okay, wait.
Yeah, go.
Oh, let me throw my little 2 cents in real quick, because I wanted to buy a bike there. That was the car dealer mentality where, I've got to take this to my manager, and he has to take it to somebody else. Then they wait and come back 15 minutes later. Oh, we can do this. Why don't you do this and that? It's like buying a car. Okay. Motorcycles are not cars. They are luxury items. We're passionate about it. Don't treat me like I'm buying a friggin' car. Okay. That's what I love about our dealership. I went in there and bought a Roadmaster Elite and wrote a check for it because I was just that involved in that dealership because I considered them friends of mine. I would never do that at that dealership. It was a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Max, you called me a friend earlier. I didn't see you buy a new Roadmaster Elite for me.
Well, you know what? I'm retired now.
Oh, no.
Sorry, Cam.
I told
dude, I'm just kidding. Look, I mean, again, I think everybody in this podcast is passionate about motorcycles. So yeah, we take some shit personally, but I think I don't know. I mean, the only way I can counter that is say my guys ink their own deals and there is no F&I office. So if you come in, you get to deal with one guy from start to finish unless you want to deal with me. And then, well, you still got to deal with one of the other guys because I can't print paperwork with this shit. So,
well, if you ask me, that's the way it should be, especially for motorcycles. I'm sorry. I've experienced the best way to do it.
This has been
it was definitely a different sales approach up at the other dealership. They were very much high pressure. I experienced that when I bought my Pursuit last year, and the approach that they took with me, and it was actually kind of a turnoff for me, honestly. And I ended up spending a few more bucks at the local dealership just to maintain that relationship, and because I really appreciated the way they handled the deal a lot better.
Speaking of that, Les, you've been pretty quiet tonight. You got any questions?
No, I don't think so.
You've been working your butt off today, so I can tell you that much. He's been texting messaging me. We got some things working in the background. Hopefully that works
Yeah.
out. Cameron, man, you're doing. I told everybody this is going to be a freaking great podcast. Now, what's in this segment with the future, the new CEO, the everything? I know you had the dealership. You can't. I know you got NDAs and you can't say a bunch of stuff. But what is your feeling of the future of Indian motorcycles?
Again, I said it earlier. Leaving that dealer meeting without a lot of fluff, just brass tacks. The dealer network as a whole was pretty fucking pumped. And any time you can leave a dealer meeting and people think, we just go and hang out and do all that sort of stuff. But we all have businesses to run every day. So when we get an opportunity to talk and meet and socialize and shoot the shit and do all those sort of things with the people that we work with daily, telephonically or Zoom or whatever it is, it's really nice. And everybody was super pumped this year. So again, I can't let cats out of the bag. Look forward to Daytona. If anybody's going to Daytona, please jump in. Go down there February 28th. This is not a push for Indian. This is just real. I have to be in town the first weekend. I'm trying to get down there the second weekend of Daytona. I've been God knows how many years in a row. We are throwing a massive party on the beach, and there'll be some pretty impressive bands down there. Again, don't want to let any cats out of the bag. But there's a lot of cool shit. We're going down with the big middle finger to just about everybody this year. Indians coming in hot. The new owners are fantastic. Yeah, I think the thing that bumps me out about the new owners the most is they're fucking good looking, they're attractive, and they're a shit ton of money. My God. I just got to say it, right? Like, my goodness. And we're super pumped. We're super pumped with these guys. They're passionate about the brand. And I don't want to go down too far the rabbit hole with private equity because I think there's a misconception there. I think everybody's read what they wanted to read and believe whatever they want to read. These guys are in it to win it. And as a dealer principal to say that, as a dealer principal that feels confident in the brand, I'm not going anywhere. Super pumped to see what happens. I'm excited about what's coming out next. I've seen some of the new product that I'm not supposed to see. I think just if you want an Indian, go fucking buy an Indian. Ride it. Don't give a shit what the brand is on it. We're not going anywhere. The guys aren't going anywhere. Are you going to see some changes? Absolutely. I've never bought a company or owned a company where I didn't make changes that made sense for my business. You got to make money. Otherwise, we won't be here in a year. But at the end of the day, they're going to do what's best for not only them, but for us as the dealers and the end consumer. And I'm super pumped. I'm excited. Mike Kennedy's on board. He's done a wonderful job in his, people keep quoting his 3 careers, whether it was Harley Davidson, Ride Now Power Sports, Rumble On, or Vance and Hines. But here's a guy who's well-rounded and is passionate about not just Indian, but motorcycling, and is gonna do a wonderful job. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see what he comes to market with. I know some of the shit he's coming to market with. All I can say is for you guys that want OEM aftermarket parts and accessories and are concerned about your warranty, wink, wink, there's some fun shit coming out. Cool. So keep an eye out on that. We've got some fun stuff coming.
Hey, I did get a text message from Carlwood here a couple seconds ago, and they said they are so happy that you are fired up. They're going to send you 22 new black Scouts, and they're on a trailer. And then that is a text message right here.
I lied to the gentleman at Carolwood. You are not young. You are ugly. You're old. You're not handsome, and I hope you go broke. No, man, that is some funny shit. That is some funny shit.
Hey,
considering they're a California outfit. Yeah, I imagine they are pretty all good looking and everything. But
easy now, bud. I'm from California, so easy there with that,
Yes,
but
hey, Cam, it's been a pleasure.
We're not done
Thank you,
yet.
guys. Yeah.
You can leave, but we're not done yet. Hey, I got one thing I got to say right here. We got like 60, almost 70 people watching right now. That's freaking awesome.
Is that good?
Is that good?
That's good for a Tuesday night.
65.
Yeah. So it's bouncing around. Hey, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, what are you waiting for? I mean, come on. We have these interviews all the time. Now, we are going to have a dry couple weeks where it's just going to be me, Max, and Les, because none of us are going to Daytona unless somebody gives me a ticket, and I'll go. But
And a
but
free
right now,
bike.
and a free bike to ride while I'm down there. But right now we're right there, man. Let's start adding a couple. I'm refreshing. I don't see nobody scribing yet, but let's get it done. And also, we have
we
Mike
lost
Kennedy next
people.
week. We didn't lose nobody. Make sure you're liking, and also make sure when this podcast is over with, go to the comments and say how well this podcast is. I mean, seriously, if the people stumble across our podcast, which is a lot, and if they don't see comments saying like best show ever and that kind of stuff, they're not going to be interested. They're not going to watch. They're just going to go to the next channel. Hey, the Creative Cruiser's here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Party's on now.
yeah, she's going to come to America, and it's going to be great. So, but once again, this podcast is about people that ride, and it doesn't matter if you ride Harley Davidson or Indian. Every day I reach out all the time for Harley riders to get on this show, and I know they're scared. Because we have so many Indian riders on here, but hopefully we'll get a few on here that's going to accept. And by the way, do you know Mr. Clock? I've been emailing him like for 6 months, and he's put me in the spam folder. I'd like to get him on this podcast. So we always do this thing called Play It Forward. And if there's anybody,
Chris,
go ahead.
You're talking about Clockworks.
Yes.
They're in Mitchell, South Dakota.
Okay.
And we're going to go right through there on the way to Sturgis.
If you guys stop in on Thursday night, you could go to their big party before Sturgis.
Oh,
There
That
you
is
go.
correct.
Hey, the Corn Palace party. It's good.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
and I've actually been to the Corn Palace, but that's another podcast. But Chris, we will be going right by Mitchell. I'm telling you, if we want to try to attempt to make a stop.
Hey, no doubt. It's going to be great. And yes, this has been a fabulous podcast. So, do you have anything, Cameron? I put your logo over here on the left side. I mean, it's a beautiful logo the way I put it.
There's one. Let's hit the Predators bike real quick. Did we talk about that?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, let's go
So
here.
we partnered with Law Tigers.
I got to get the right one in here.
I got to give a shout out to my homie here real quick. That's what this is all about, isn't it?
Yes.
That
There it
one.
is. Yep.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
I accidentally got rid of it. Let me get back. Here we go. There it is.
It was.
There it
Bicycle
is.
tech guy.
That's a beautiful freaking bike right there, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it really is an amazing paint job. And John Lefevre's from Lefevre Cycles in East Tennessee did a wonderful job. He donated his time and energy. The front fender has been signed by the entire crew, Predators hockey team, I should say. And we're going to be giving that motorcycle away April 16th at our last Predators home game here in Tennessee. So predatorsbike.com, log on, fill out your information. It's not a whole lot. Jacks up my my e-blast every week, so we appreciate that. That's about it. But what we're going to do is we're going to end up picking a lucky winner, and we're going to fly you down or bring you out or whatever it is to our last hockey game, sweet tickets, all 9 yards, and we're going to present it to you on ice on April 16th. So again, Law Tigers, Music City Indian, and my buddy John over at Lefevre Cycles did a bang-up job on the paint job on that. So thank you to John.
Yeah, it looks
whenever
beautiful, man.
whenever I see that black and yellow, I always say it looks like a pissed off bumblebee. Look at that.
There-
That's good.
Yeah.
I think it's actually
Yeah,
navy
it's
blue, but yeah.
blue and yellow. Yeah.
Is it blue?
That's
Yeah.
cool.
It looks black. It looks black in the picture.
Yeah, I know it. I'm gonna see if I can enlarge it here.
It is blue and
Yeah,
yellow,
it's
but I was
blue.
gonna go with it because our Predators hockey team is blue and yellow. But
Gotcha.
yeah, no, it's a cool bike. It's a cool bike for sure.
I want
It
that
is.
bike. I want to win it. That's cool.
I would ride. The
We didn't
crap out of
go
it.
super
Well,
cheap.
well,
You know,
guess what?
that's a 116 with info or whatever the technology and shit in it. So you're gonna get a good bike.
Nice.
Is it a 116 kit or a stock 116? That's the
Fuck,
difference.
man, seriously, that's a stock 116. It's got the
If
GPS.
it ain't the kit,
You know what, Max? If
gotta
you
get-
win that
you gotta
bike,
get
I will
the
gladly
everything.
take your wallet and build the bike for you. How about that? And we'll make it a 131 for sure.
That bike would look
Okay,
good
I
on
was
the
holding out for
Chris.
Milwaukee, but okay.
Oh shit, Rob will do it. He'll just charge more.
That bike would look good on me, Chris.
Yeah, I know. You go.
Yeah.
Oh my
Go spend
goodness.
some
Connie.
tickets there, man. Go
It's
do
not mid controls. You won't be happy.
God,
I'll
I can't
adjust.
wait till you put Connie on the big screen. I want to meet her so bad. Her voice is so lovely.
She's gonna.
She just comes creeping in the background like, "Hi, I'm Connie. And this is going to cost you $9.99 a minute."
After we're done with
Wow.
Daytona, I think
man.
we're going to be coming down to your dealership. I really want to check it out.
Yeah.
Come on. We'd love to have you guys. It'd be great.
All right.
We could
So
go- Hey,
what else
Chris?
you got? Yeah, go ahead.
Chris, we could come down and do a live pop-up on a Saturday morning down there. What do you think?
Oh yeah, we'll find out when his demo days are, and we'll just come down there and just do a
Demo
podcast
days
right
are every day, man. We
Every
don't do
day.
demo days every day. I take a bike off my showroom and go ride it. Who needs a truck for that?
Great answer.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
we go.
Nice.
Come
Very
on
nice.
with it.
Yeah, that's how it used to be.
Yeah, and you
That's
got some
how it
great,
is.
great roads down there. So it's a
It's a lot of fun.
It's a biker's dream down there, man. It is.
It's a lot of fun.
All right, well, stay on here.
All right.
When the screen goes black, the audience is gone, and then we can really talk about all the secret stuff.
Oh, we're gonna talk mad. We're gonna talk mad shit when it goes black.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
It's all good.
Thank you.
Anyway-
Hey, real quick, thank you guys for having us on. I appreciate it. Hopefully, I answered all your questions, and no, it's been great. It's been nice to meet all you guys. I didn't know you for Adam until we got on the show tonight.
Yeah.
So, Connie, you too, by the way.
So you,
Well,
you
thank you, sir.
So I got to put you on the spot. What do you think about the podcast? Do you think we're terrible or we're good? Yeah, a lot of people like us because we're really honest and we don't, shoot the breeze. I mean, we actually have 1,000 questions. We just have conversations, and that's what
Yep.
that's what we're all about.
But I'm not a podcast guy. It's my third one ever. So I'm going to go with, I think it was successful. And I've been getting text messages. I've been looking down at my phone most of the night. And there's been a lot of middle fingers and you suck. And my friends just busting my balls. I think I did get one from Mike Kennedy and Carolwood going, "You're fucked." But no, honestly, I think I think you guys are doing a great job. I asked you guys before the evening started, kind of what brought you all into this, and I think it's important. I think people want to hear what dealerships have to say, dealer principals have to say, aftermarket guys. I'm excited for y'all to have Mike Kennedy on. I think you said my buddy Kyle from Forever Rad's going to be jumping on.
Mhm.
He's an interesting duck. He's got a lot of input to put into this, and yeah, I mean, it's good. It's just about getting information out and direct from the horse's mouth.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we're for the biker, the rider, everything. We want more. We really want more riders out there. And if somebody comes across our podcast and they're going to know about your dealership, they're going to know about Pikes Peak dealership, they're going to know about all Mike Kennedy, you name it. They're going to know so much information. I see a lot of podcasts out there, and I'm not dogging them or anything else, but I always wanted to be different. And I think we are, and I think that's what makes us a success. And I appreciate you coming on here. Hopefully you can come on here again, and we'll talk about some more. We'll have more pictures of some of your rides that you've done. I mean, it's freaking awesome. That was my bad. I should have asked for some more, but
Yeah, but
anyway.
somebody kept asking.
Well,
about the one
we
in the
have
back.
YouTube too. Yeah, we have YouTube too.
Yes.
You just got to look at it.
Yep, exactly.
I'm empty.
You're empty. We'll see you later. Have a good
I'm
one.
empty.
You got Max.
We're done.
Max, you got to
I'm
start with a
empty.
larger drink. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me.
I had it up to here. I have to
Yeah.
deal with him all the time.
All right, so let me bring this up to the front here, and let me see if I can get his YouTube real quick. And Les, you or Max, talk for a second, your final words, and I'll get his YouTube up. So,
Nah, man, it's been a great podcast. I absolutely appreciate you coming on. I'm envious of that 47. I'd really like to see that in person. That is a beautiful bike. Again, that's my dream bike. And I think Chris and I can get down there. Max, if you want to go along, we'll get down there and try to do a podcast sometime right there in the lobby on a Saturday morning or something. So, again, thanks
That'd be
for
fun.
coming on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Okay. Cameron, you're an interesting guy. I like the way you run your dealership. You can keep your 47. It's a little too much work. But considering I'm a Thunderstroke advocate, Classic Indian is the way to go. I appreciate your aesthetic on that. Thank you very much. You've been a hell of a guest. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Max. Thanks, Les. Thanks, Chris.
yeah, no problem.
Connie.
And, I always put his YouTube in the chat, folks. So check that out. And I'm putting it on the screen here for a second. You guys could There's all the links right there. So let me see if I can actually grab all these and put them in the chat at the same time.
Well, we appreciate him putting us on the front page of his website for Music City,
Oh yeah, I
Indian.
appreciate it.
Also, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And,
Emily does a great job for us. I have no idea how she did it, but she
Oh.
did.
And do you want to
Hey.
thank any other people before we go?
Are you talking about me?
Yeah. Yep.
Dude, I love everybody. I literally, I mean, I just thank the industry as a whole. We get to do what we get to do every day because of them, and you know, forever two wheels, right? I hate to be cliche, but somebody go out and buy a motorcycle and keep supporting our two wheel lifestyle. It's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let me get the right song here. Let's see here. We got it.
Taylor
here.
Swift comes on. I'm never getting back on this podcast.
Me either.
Britney Spears.
I was talking to her today, and she said she's going to get a freaking bike from you. I guess she ain't doing one
Yeah.
now.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, so Cam, I'm on your website. You don't have our picture on there. I'm relieved. I was afraid I'd get mugged at Walmart because people recognize me. So
Yeah, there it is.
This is good. This is good.
Yep.
Namaste. Peace.
Yep.
See you,
Have a good
everyone.
night. We'll see you guys next week. It's huge. It's going to be huge, folks. We got Mike Kennedy here Tuesday night at 8 p.m.
Yes.
Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be a great podcast. I can't wait. Then we're going to have a couple of podcasts where it's just going to be us. Maybe we'll get a guest, but everybody's going to be in Daytona, so it's going to be hard for us to get a guest. But after that, we got some guests lined up. So continue watching. Continue giving us a thumbs up. And we'll keep having guests like this. Cameron, great job tonight. Have a good night, everybody.
Great job, man.
And we're
See you
out
guys.
here.